Hello and welcome to this KNX Certification Webinar. My name is Christophe Partoens. So I'm the presenter of this webinar, obviously. Okay, so here's the agenda. The two topics actually. So the product certification as such, the essentials, prerequisites, and the timeline for KNX product certification. And the second topic of the day is EITT, the tool EITT. So what is this tool? What's the concept of the tool? What procedures are covered there? And the most important features of the tool will be explained. So topic 1, product certification. So the essentials are as follows. So first of all, KNX product certification is self-imposed, and the base for KNX product certification is the standard EN 45011. In detail, this means that the procedure for KNX product certification is to be found in volume 5 of the KNX specifications. The actual test specifications, they are to be found in volume 8 of the KNX specifications. About the use of the logos, so for certified product, it is mandatory to put the KNX logo on the product. In some cases indeed, also the EIB logo can be used. This is, however, optional. So whenever it is applicable, so the use of the EIB logo when it's applicable, it's not mandatory. It's optional. Okay, what are maybe the situations where the EIB logo could be applied? Well, that is because, first of all, it is because of the fact that KNX is and always will be backwards compatible with EIB. So that's the fact actually. That's the base for this bullet here. When does this happen? Well, that is in case of a twisted pair or a power line device, because those are backwards compatible with EIB. Okay, so part 2 then of the essentials. So there are two aspects for two certification aspects when we talk about KNX product certification, and that is where the first one is the certification of the hardware. The hardware certification is based on a CE declaration in which the manufacturer states the compliance to the corresponding product standard. That means if the product is a washing machine, well, then it shall comply to the corresponding product standard of a washing machine. Also, it is based on the standard HBES EN 50090-2-2. HBS, by the way, is the abbreviation for Home and Building Systems. Electronic systems, of course. The tests can be, the tests for the hardware certification that are the base for the hardware certification, that are the base for the CE declaration, well, they can be conducted at own premises, and the tests shall be documented. Software certification. So that's the second aspect of KNX product certification. Well, the base for that is ISO 17025. These tests are either conducted at one of the KNX test labs. If I'm not mistaken, there are 7 KNX test labs certified or accredited. And there is also an alternative in case the test labs example given are not fit for the specific product, for the certification of the specific product. That could be example given currently still for KNX secure devices. just to give you one example. Well, then in that case, an aptitude test can be used as a replacement, and this is then done by people from staff from KNX Association, so people from the KNX Certification Department. If a product fails, so if it fails certification, then then it's for the manufacturer not allowed to put the KNX logo on the product. This also means that no ETS product catalogs can be created, so there's no point in distributing this, because the ETS user cannot use these product catalogs anyway, because of the fact that they are not certified. Okay, certification prerequisites. Well, first of all, you need to be member of the KNX Association, otherwise you cannot even apply for KNX product certification. As a member, you need to agree to the trademark license agreement. That means you understand everything about the use of the logos, etc. And also you need to sign the, or you need to be, you need to declare yourself. Well, that you agree. Sorry, I have to find the proper wording here. That you agree to the stipulations of the intellectual property right agreement. That means this is about well, patents that are KNX related. Well, that you need to agree to the fact that these patents are not protected within KNX. So whenever it's KNX related, you want a patent for it, okay, it will be protected outside KNX, but not inside KNX. You need to share it without any limitation with your fellow KNX members. And also you need to be compliant to the standard ISO 9001, or at least the, let's say, the place, let's put it like that, the place where the products are actually manufactured needs to be ISO 9001 compliant. ISO 9001 sorry, means that there is a quality control system set up in that factory, so that yeah, the quality indeed can be assured of these KNX products that are manufactured there. Okay, timeline. Well, it all starts with the registration. So from the moment you as a manufacturer, so to say, think the product is ready for the market, well, then you can the only thing that you need to do is to register the product at KNX Association, so at the KNX Certification Department. From that moment on, you can start up the production, the distribution, the commercialization of the product. You can use the KNX logo, but at the same time, right after registration, also a period of 6 months for testing is started. So you have 6 months of time in order to prove that the product was indeed ready for the market. So the hardware, for the hardware as for the software. If the product indeed comes with a CE declaration for the hardware certification and comes with a positive test report from the test lab or from the aptitude test for the software, well, then you will get a certificate for your product. After the certificate has been handed out to you for this product, the surveillance period will start. That means at all time KNX Association has the right to check test reports and to check CE declarations. It could happen indeed that a product can be issued for retesting. It can happen at any moment, so to say. And yes, indeed, in worst case, KNX Association has the right to withdraw a product from the market, if this is really necessary. Okay. Certification timeline. Certification hardware tests. Well, first of all, the reference for the stipulations for these, or the requirements for these tests are to be found in volume 4 of the KNX specifications. So what is stipulated there is, well, all details about the electrical safety. So example given, electrical shocks that could be caused by the product. Environmental tests. So example given, the protection class that is declared. Is that indeed, does it correspond with reality? Functional safety of the product. So will it lead to hazardous situations for the user? Yes or no? Does indeed the device function as described? EMC requirements, so both for interference and immunity, also that will be tested. If the device comes with a physical external interface, then mechanical and electrical requirements will be checked. The declared power consumption will also be checked. Software tests then. So if the product comes with a certified stack, that means that only the application program shall be checked. Well, in that case, the reference for the certification test, for the software test, is volume 7 of the KNX specifications. So what will be tested is the behavior also on, so the interworking aspects and the functionality tests will be done, of course. But also specifically the behavior on initialization, on reset, and on power failure. Will be checked. The value of the routing counters that is used in telegrams. So these are different aspects. So all will be tested, of course. If the product comes with cyclical functions, well then the telegram rate limitations will also be checked, because we don't want devices to keep on sending endlessly telegrams to the bus. So that is an example given, also one of the tests. If the product is, however, based on a system stack that you developed yourself, so it's not a certified stack, well then some extra tests need to be done. And then the reference is not only volume 7 but also volume 3. So the extra tests that need to be done are the physical layer test, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, and application layer. If the product is also comes also with a PEI, so on top of the system stack that you develop yourself and the application program, it also has a PEI, so a physical external interface on board. Then again, another test, series of tests need to be done, the so-called local service tests. Okay, so that was part 1. Now part 2, so EITT. What is this EITT? Well, that is a tool, a software tool that is used to test the compatibility of KNX devices against either the KNX interworking requirements, as stipulated on volume 7, or the KNX system stack requirements, so as they are stipulated in volume 3. The product or the software tool is used by KNX test labs, but also by KNX members because of several reasons. Could be during product development in order to prepare for certification, could be during for quality control, could be during the production, and well, in that case, example given, indeed, and the API is really well, useful. So it could be based on scripting, example given. Okay, what is the EITT concept? Well, as such, there are two working two collectors of data, if you want. One of them is called the telegram sequence, or the telegram sequence window. Maybe that's also a correct term here. A telegram sequence, so that's the first one, is actually something that needs to be created manually. It's a list of telegrams, so a sequence of telegrams indeed, in order to test the device, in order to trigger the device, or to trigger the device, that's a correct term indeed. So that needs to be created manually, and we will see, let's say, two types of telegrams that are put there. It's either an in telegram or an out telegram, and it's always seen from the point of view of the device under test. In means, okay, this is indeed a simulated bus action, so something that comes from the bus. as if it would come from the bus indeed. Group value write example given. So a simulated bus action. And then out is actually the expected result that we want to express there in this telegram sequence. And the point is that this telegram sequence needs to be created manually. The requirements for the telegram sequence can be found in the in volume 3 example given. So if it's for a stack, or in volume 7 if it's for the application program. And so once this telegram sequence is ready, or the telegram sequences can also be plural of course, then such telegram sequence can be played, and something then will happen on the bus. So there will be some live result, and it is that live result that will be recorded in the second window, or in the second collector, called the trace buffer. So that's the live result from the bus. Okay, what is all to be created manually then? So in the telegram sequence, so let's have a look at all the details of one telegram. So what needs to be specified is the source address. So whether it's an in or out telegram. So in, remember, a simulated bus action; out, an expected result from the device. Destination address is another detail to be defined in the telegram of the telegram sequence. The encoding of the telegram according to the data point definition. If it's temperature or whatever, you need to define this, which data point type. Priority is also an aspect, of course. Repetition flag, so is this a repeated telegram, yes or no? It's also possible to indicate some tolerances, so especially in the case of example given, indeed, temperature. This is really useful, very practical. So this is actually only applicable for out telegrams, so that you can indeed say or express, like, if the device would react, let's say between like the example on the slide, 20 and 21 degree, then this is, example given, an okay reaction, or whatever. Timing aspects. In case of group messages, what kind of, which type specifically? Is it read, response, or write? The telegram in hex format will be automatically created by EITT, so that it can be compared with example given ETS, the ETS monitor. That could be useful in order to prepare for certification, or whatever reason that could be. Comments is also possible. Comments can even be put automatically. Can be set according to data point type encoding. So that is all. That kind of flexibility is all inside the tool. And of course, the very famous, if I can use that word, the famous do it button. Because while building up this telegram, or such telegram in a telegram sequence, there are a lot of details, and it is always very cumbersome if one needs to wait until the entire telegram is ready and then try it. So you can always test it in between because of the do it function. And this is of course very useful when you indeed create the in telegrams. So the simulated bus actions. And then, last slide already, so the key functions and the features of EITT, well, obviously the compare function, of course, because that is the entire point of EITT, more or less. That is to be able to select the telegram in the telegram sequence, and then to compare it with the, let's say, the one that corresponds, so the corresponding telegram in the trace buffer. So what is simulated and what is real, and then compare both. That is of course the entire point. So EITT comes with all these compare features and functions in order to check or compare such telegrams. And EITT comes with a loop mode, so that means indeed once a Telegram sequence has come to the end, that it just restarts again. So a typical use case is a stress test. So it's a kind of quality control, of course, for the device. Okay, so that was my last slide of the webinar. Now the rest of the slides are let's say, some overview slides, some extra information example can be found. Also here, this very slide, here's some suggested follow-up webinars, so what you should maybe, to which webinars you could, example given, subscribe to next time. And yeah, for the rest, I guess I can conclude the webinar now. So yeah, and before I do that, and before I present the rest of these ending slides, I want to thank you for your presence here, for your attention, and yeah, maybe we see one another in one of my future webinars then. So thanks once more. See you. Have a nice day, and